Hi everyone, it's Tony here with Nerds Never Sleep, and today I'm doing something a little bit different than my usual videos. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about a colossal failure in the gaming sphere, at least. We're going to talk a little bit about the game Concord from Sony. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a big Sony fan, okay? Sony, Nintendo, those are my two all day long. And I gotta call out the nonsense when it's there. And Concord is literally the perfect storm of just a disaster. So, a little bit of backstory about Concord before we get into things. Now, this was made by a studio called Firewalk Studios. Now, they were purchased by Sony in 2023 as part of their initiative to create more live service, online games, stuff like that. Kind of a companion to studios like Bungie that they purchased. Now, this game has reportedly been in development somewhere between 4 and 8 years for the PS5 and Sony. Now, it depends on where you look or what sources you cite, but I've read personally, some places have said 8 years, some places 4, so I'm going to give you guys that range in general. I'm not going to quote anyone particularly. Now, what is this game? So Concord is basically a brightly colored, bland, online first-person hero shooter. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, Overwatch, yes, it's going to sound familiar because there are dozens of these types of games out there right now. So this game already had the deck stacked against it from the get-go. Then came the trailers for it, and they were ratioed to hell. Everybody was just saying how bland, boring, uninspired this game looked, and I was one of them. Okay? I'm not much for the big hero shooters and stuff like that myself. Honestly, as far as the online multiplayer games go, I'm simple. I'm a Fortnite guy, okay? Flame me all you want. But Fortnite knows what it is. It knows what it's doing, and Epic is super smart with their marketing. The budget, reported budget, is around $200 million. Now, to put that in perspective to you guys, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 had a little bit over $200 million budget. So you're going to tell me that this boring, bland, uninspired hero shooter Overwatch clone costs as much money as a blockbuster single-player experience like Spider-Man 2? Something ain't right there. And the biggest difference between Concord and the competitors is Concord actually has a $40 price tag up front. So if you were looking to try this game, you wanted to play it, whatever, you got to shell out the cash. Games like Overwatch, Overwatch 2, aka Overwatch 1.5, the upcoming Marvel Hero Shooter, Fortnite, I mean, all these games are free to play. You can try them out, you can download them, you can buy battle passes, skins, stuff like that, other heroes if you want. Now, that is the first hurdle for this game, right? Having a price of entry, whereas its competition does not. Now, the biggest problems I had with this game was the marketing for it sucked, okay? Marketing was not good for it at all, and I think Sony kind of knew they had a stinker. Every trailer that came out for this game was ratioed to hell and back. Comments were turned off for posts. All the usual suspects when a game or movie or anything else is getting a lot of flack. Now, I saw the trailers for this game, and I'm like, okay, it might be another free-to-play game. I'll check it out. I'll try it, whatever. I saw the price tag. I saw the boring, bland, uninspired gameplay on this game and just went, I guess I'll go back to Fortnite. Not going to bother with this game. And, I was very, very happy I did skip it. The characters, the designs, everything about the game was just bad. And from the few people that I've seen play it, their reactions were not good either. So basically what we have here is a colossal failure. And less than 2 weeks after this game released, Sony made an announcement saying, we are pulling the game from the store, pulling copies from the shelves. We are giving full refunds to everyone, and the game is going to be taken offline. I believe it was September 6th, so you got a couple days left to play it if you want to. Now, to me, that is one of the biggest failures I've ever seen in a game. Now, I'm one of the people who bought Anthem, okay? Had a good time playing it with my buddies. Game had some good bones to it. It was just wasted potential. Another game I really enjoyed too, in the hero shooter kind of vibe, Battleborn. That was another game you had to pay to play it. Then it went free to play and had a little bit of a resurgence, but by then it was too little too late. So these two games alone that I mentioned had a way longer kind of shelf life than what Sony's even giving Concord. So to me, I think someone in their higher ups know this game is just disaster. The budget, everything about it is just too much. Now, this actually is going to beat out the last big online flop that I called too, which was Babylon's Fall. Now, if you guys don't remember Babylon's Fall, well, I'm not surprised because the game, I think, lasted a couple months. And it was a Square Enix published RPG, online only. And oh man, did everybody that tried it think it was horrible, including myself. So to me, having a game not even get to make the first month shows how colossal of a failure this game is. Now, why, again, did this game blow up and fail the way it did? Well, I think it's the points that I've named. The price of entry, the uninspired look, play, feel, everything about the game, and the characters. My God, what were they thinking when they designed some of these characters? I saw so many of these character models, and every one of them I looked at and went, why would I want to play as this character? They don't look cool. They're, in these kind of games, you want to have a character that like stands out and looks cool and is flashy or does something, right? None of these characters seem to fit that bill. Say what you want about Overwatch. It has some really cool, really unique looking characters that have some style, that have some unique abilities, things like that that make them stand out. Say what you want about Fortnite. Fortnite's got a skin for everyone. Whatever your taste is, Fortnite's got you covered. Okay? Concord had nothing. Some of the worst character designs I have ever seen in a modern game. And again, with the budget, this thing was $200 million. Man, if I was Sony, I'd be closing this thing down, tax write-off. Do whatever I can to get this thing written off. So, a lot of the backlash for this game came from the alt-right, right? That's what we say now. Everyone that has an opinion is now alt-right. Okay, I've been called it myself. And the phobes and the ists and everyone else. So basically, anyone who didn't like this game was getting called every name in the book that you could be called, because you're targeting specific groups because you think a game looks crappy. Myself, I think the game just looked absolutely garbage. One of the things that I did notice is the shift that's taken place in Sony over the past 8 or so years. So, for those of you who don't know, back in 2016, Sony moved their PlayStation studios from Tokyo, Japan to California. And a lot of the kind of California mentality started to kind of seep into the gaming division. And say what you want, but we started getting a lot of censorship of Japanese games, all kinds of stuff like that. And just these cringy kind of DEI incentive kind of nonsense. And you can say what you want, but it all does kind of track. So, what at the end of the day is going to be the lesson learned from Concord, and what is going to happen going forward with Concord? Well, let's talk about this. My thought is I don't think we're going to see anything from Concord. I don't think this game comes back. I don't think they retool it. I don't think it comes back as free to play. None of that. I think this game is gone, dead, and buried. Sony's going to want to forget this game, put this game behind them, much like Square Enix with Babylon's Fall and Forspoken. But again, we've had a lot of flops recently from companies that we don't really expect the flops from. So, what lesson could they learn from this? Well, to me, I'm proud to say that I'm happy to see gamers finally voting with their wallets. And again, this is coming from a guy who is a Sony fanboy. Do not pay for the crap games. Don't support it. Don't do any of that. Now, if we can only get people to stop paying for all these microtransactions, maybe we can get a little bit less of them in our games as well. But that's a whole other topic. Back to this. So, the lesson Sony should learn from Concord is, again, listen to your fans. Listen to the feedback. We saw a developer of a little game called No Man's Sky advertise this big, giant game, right? That fell short of every expectation. And they listened to the fans. They listened to the feedback, the backlash, the hate, everything. And still to this day are giving free updates and improvements on this game. Could Sony have done that with Concord? Maybe. Do you think it would have been worth it? Honestly, I don't think so. This game does not have good bones. It does not have good characters. It does not have good anything. So there's really nothing to work with. My opinion is Sony is going to take themselves a nice little tax credit from this and chalk it up as a loss. Vault the game. Shut it down. No trace of it. They're going to do the Batgirl route with it, like WB did with the Batgirl movie. They're going to close the lid on this thing, write it off on their taxes, and call it a day. I do not think we are going to see or hear a peep of anything else regarding Concord. So, my opinion to Sony, go back to making games that are great, that your fans want. We could have gotten, for $200 million, we could have gotten a Days Gone sequel. That money could have went towards the next Horizon game. That money could have went towards the next God of War. An Infamous sequel. A Resistance sequel. A new Sly Cooper. So many things this money could have went towards. But it went for something that I'm sure was ill-advised by anyone given this idea. Because I don't know who the hell at Sony saw this and went, Yep, throw everything we got at that. Let's do it. Whoever did make those decisions should be fired, should not have a job anymore, and should be bounced out of the gaming industry forever. This was another disaster, much like other games I mentioned. I don't even think there's a way to salvage or save this game. But I don't know, guys. That is my 2 cents on the matter here. And my opinion, again, it's just an opinion. If yours is different than mine, that's fine. Agree to disagree. Do you guys think this game could make a comeback? Do you think it can be a Cinderella story and Sony can retool it and bring it back or rebrand it or do something with it to save this $200 million just dumpster fire? That's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts on this game were and this whole situation in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.